Okay, I think we're live. Hello, 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 hello. We are live and in charge.
Hello. We
We are
are.
on YouTube today. It is a Wednesday. We love going live on YouTube on Wednesday.
We do. I
This
love
is
how
our
you said
day.
in charge too.
Live and in charge. We're so excited. It's been a minute since we've gotten together. Travel and spring break and all those things have kind of come into play. But we're excited because, it's been kind of a crazy week and month really for rates and the mortgage, lending and real
Yes.
estate
Ooh.
world. So we want to
Let's
answer
talk
your
about it.
questions. So
Uh-huh.
before we get started, please know this is for you. This is a Q&A session for you. We're happy to answer any question about living in Vegas, us personally, how we are so fly, obviously, and then also anything about the real estate industry. So if you have questions, drop them in the comments box. We will get to that as soon as we're done talking about what we have planned today. I'm here with my sweet friend Amber Coleman from Guild Mortgage.
It's always good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Always good to sit next to you, my friend.
Yes.
So we're here. My name is Laci, Las Vegas gal. We are here to talk Las Vegas real estate, talk about inflation, talk about the crash that everybody thinks is coming, and really kind of what all that means for you to help you kind of understand what are you supposed to do when all these big words like inflation and the market crash and investing and rates are going, all these big terms are flying through the air. We're just going to try to help you kind of ground yourself a little bit in it, right? We want to ground
Let's
ourselves
talk about it.
and talk about it.
Yeah.
So Amber, so talk to me a little bit about, what you're hearing when people are calling and asking about, I know we share a lot of clients and our clients are saying a lot of, I'm going to wait until the crash happens. And are you hearing the same thing?
Oh yes. People are always talking to me about the crash. Let's talk about
Let's talk about the crash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think it's too fresh on everybody's mind.
Yeah.
So like they're thinking what happened in 08 and we can all remember what happened in 08. A lot of us, including myself, got stuck in a pretty bad place.
Yep.
At that time,
Absolutely.
right? So
I did too.
It's too fresh on our memories, but we have to remember in 08 there was a mortgage meltdown. So anybody, and I used to tell people, if you're breathing, don't worry, you can get a loan. And it was a true reality. There was nothing wrong in saying that, because if you were breathing, you could get a loan.
Yep.
So because of that, when the music stopped, everything crashed because people literally had houses they couldn't afford. Right.
Yeah. So that what happened then and what's happening now are two very different scenarios.
Two different things. So because we're seeing the prices go so high, it's bringing back memories of what happened in 04, 05, 06, right? When the houses got so high. So now everybody's thinking, oh crap, it's going to go down because that's what you remember. Yeah. But here's the difference. Number one, everybody's qualifying for these loans.
Yes.
So that's a big thing, right? Number two, you have to have a roof over your head. So the minute that you foreclose on your house, where are you going to go?
Right.
You're going to have to rent something, right?
Or buy.
Rents
but you can't buy when you foreclose.
And rents
usually
are what, higher than mortgages right now.
Yeah, we'll talk about
buying,
that.
Right.
Yeah.
So rents are high. So then you can't really leave to go anywhere. So what would be the point in leaving your house? Secondly, you got too much equity going on in your house, so you're not there. That's not going to happen right there.
The difference, I think, the biggest difference is exactly what you just said. The last time we had a crash, bottom line crash, 07, 08, right, is when the housing market wasn't supporting the housing values. The difference between then and now is that's not happening this time around. The housing market is more than supporting, and it's actually the thing that's driving those values. It's not because people are anybody and their mom can just go get a loan and I want a house and I want a 5,000 square foot house and I'm just going to tell them I make this much money and fraudulent banking, etc. It's because there is way too high of a demand and not enough homes on the market to fulfill the need. So when that happens, what's going to happen? A bidding war occurs. People who absolutely have no other choice but to buy or rent is where this kind of what is it, like the clog in the pipes happens, and then that's when things have to change, which then in turn becomes pricing.
Yeah, and where you're going to see, like right now, the inventory, builders cannot build what they need to build.
Not fast enough.
Because right now we have the largest amount of people buying houses because the millennials are all ready to buy houses right now. So it's the largest amount of people that could buy houses that happened in I think ever or a really long time. I need to look up those stats.
There's that, and also there's the they call this the great shuffle, the great reshuffle over the last few years with the pandemic. Many of us are now working from home. Many companies have understood that that's a valuable prospect to offer some great candidates. They're bringing in new people to work, but they're offering these amazing packages that allow them to work from home. Home has never been more important. We've talked about it for years.
We said that since the pandemic
Since day one of the pandemic.
When everybody was getting nervous, like, I don't know, it's going to crash, it's going to crash, right?
Yeah.
Like that happened just 2 years ago. And we were like, no, home has never been more important. And honestly, right now, it's still that way. That's why 20% of all houses that are being purchased by investors. Why would investors buy all these houses if they thought it was going to crash?
Right.
These are the people that are usually first in line to be able to spend their money on whatever way is going to make them the most money.
Yeah. So like today, really the goal of this discussion is, yes, we want to dispel the rumor that there's going to be a market crash. We do not believe, barring some national disaster, we do not believe there is any validity in saying that there's going to be a market crash. There's a lot of data to back this up. The experts are saying it as well. We've been saying it for 2 years now, ladies and gentlemen, 2 years, and we're happy and proud to still stand by what we believe. So with that, then comes the word inflation. Inflation is a big buzzword that's happening all over the, and I've been fortunate enough to have you and smarter people than me in the room to just make sure
she's the smartest person in the room.
No, I'm not, but to make sure that I understand, okay, is inflation, does it mean the same thing now that it once meant before? Because some things change over time and they don't really mean what they once meant and things like that. And so, the answer is yes. So when inflation occurs and we're seeing, they're printing more money than they've ever printed before. There's new money in the market. That means everything goes up in price. That's not why the housing market is going up in price. Pricing for the houses is largely 95% due to demand and supply and demand. The inflation on everything else we buy, gas, milk, eggs, you name it, is what's coming from the printing of money and things like that. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, from the printing of money, a lot of it's what's happening overseas.
100% of what's happening there as well.
Going up.
Yeah. So when the word inflation's floating around, are you getting? We're seeing a lot of people, to your point, call and say, "What do I do? The market could crash tomorrow. Inflation, recession, all these big words. What should I do with my money?" What's the advice for giving them?
In inflationary markets like we're dealing with right now, a lot of the things that we can't control. If you look up stats on this, in inflationary markets, housing does very well.
And that's why those investors are putting their money in housing. That's why 20% of the homes being purchased in this crazy inflated market, expensive market, are investors who know their money is going to do well in housing because everyone needs a place to live, period, always.
And
that's
honestly, what the stock market is built out of is people like this that have big sums of money putting money somewhere, and then all of a sudden that stock goes up and everybody follows, right?
Yep. So we're trying to help you to see it on the front side of it.
That's kind of what's happening in the housing market right now. Like in the stock market, it kind of feels like air sometimes, right? So it feels like we're buying a little bit of air. So that's why in inflationary markets where it's going to be very volatile, people are going to put their money into hard assets. They want
a safe bet, right? The hard asset, home, housing has never been more important. There's a great reshuffle. People are being smarter, moving to cities and states that are more tax friendly because they can work from home now. There's a lot of really, really smart things happening, I believe, in the world that are combating some of the other bad things that we're seeing and talking about. And the smart things are people are getting smarter with their money. They're really starting to make sure that if they have the ability to work wherever they want, live wherever they want, why wouldn't they maximize that dollar and that paycheck? So that also is inflating, the need for more housing and the shuffle. So, we're really trying to just throw out all the buzzwords so inflation, market crash, recession, possible recession, rates up, down,
let's talk about
right.
the recession for a second. I mean, anytime the feds are making moves to be able to stop inflation, and that's what's happening right now. We've seen the rates kind of going like this. Right. Today, I've finally seen a calm down of rates, which has been a beautiful
See, I haven't talked to you in a week on purpose because it just stresses me out.
It's been a beautiful sight. But anytime you see that happen, the feds have to take action. The action that they can take is in interest rates, right? So when people start seeing interest rates go higher, the Fed fund rate go high, which is the rate that they borrow money at, then they're going to start pulling back, saying, "Ooh, I need to save." The minute that money isn't put into the economy and we go through 3 months of like negative growth, that means recession. Right. So recession typically means better interest rates.
So if you're looking to buy a house in Las Vegas or anywhere, I'm not saying we're excited about a recession, but a recession for a home buyer is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. So some people will look at the crash that we had, which was the mortgage meltdown, and say recession bad because that's what you remember. But remember, that was a mortgage meltdown.
That was bad banking and illegal action.
Yeah, we had a recession when COVID started. We had a recession, I believe, in 2000, at the end of 2018 or beginning of 2019. So those things happen, and when that happens, what happens is the investors start pulling back, which means that the rates start moving down. I mean, it's more technical than that, but just to kind of keep it on a high
Yeah.
level, but the rates start moving down
Yeah.
in the recession periods.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, again, we're throwing all these buzzwords out: recession, market crash, inflation, rates, all of that, because we want to just answer the questions that you might have, or really dispel any rumors that you might be sitting with or struggling with on a day-to-day basis. Of course, if you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, we would love nothing more than to serve you in that process and help you purchase a home. Not because, yay, we make money on it. Yeah, of course we do. This is how we make a living. But the bottom line is we want to see you put your money in an asset, a hard asset, and be smart with your money now. Even though prices seem higher than they should be, inflated, all those things, oh, it's too expensive in Vegas now, and things are getting too expensive, and I'm going to wait until it crashes. All that stuff comes into the conversation. We're letting you know, if you're seeing that rising now, that means it's still going to be rising for a while. So why not buy it and get in on the early side of that rise, so that you can still make some equity and come out on top, right?
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
If you have questions, please drop your questions in the comment box below. Again, about anything: lifestyle, why we're so fly, because we are, real estate, living in Vegas, anything and everything. We want to be here to give you the education that you need to make sure that you're making the right decisions during this crazy time. The title of this video is Inflation and Market Crash, What Do I Do? Well, here's what we want you to do. There are many different investment type programs available that we're going to talk about, I think, right? Some of the loan
there's
programs.
some really exciting ones that I don't think people are. Do you want me to go into?
I would love that. Let me just preface it though, that we want you to invest your money in a hard asset. We want you to follow the smart money people of the world and realize that real estate's not going anywhere. They're not building more land, right? They might build houses, but they're not making any more land. That was done and it's been done for a minute. So we want to make sure that you get to get on it if you're able to while you can, and that you're not allowing the crash, the inflation, all these things to scare you away or slow your process down. If anything, we want you to speed it up so that you can get in while the getting's good, right? So with that being said, if someone wanted to invest, somebody says, oh, you know what, damn it, Laci, you said it may never be possible for me to buy a house, and I finally believed that it might be, and I called you and Amber, and now I realize, oh my God, I never thought I would be a homeowner. Now you guys are helping me buy a home. I want to invest my money. I'm listening to your advice. The advice that we want to give you is, now let's talk about the loan programs that you can take advantage of as an investor. If you're a first-time homeowner, there's all kinds of programs as well. These are going to be specific to people who want to invest that money smartly, baby.
Yes. So here's a good program. And when you said that, like the fear, I say replace it with hope. And when you replace it with hope, you find programs like this, right?
I love it. Oh,
so,
I love that marketing thing. I'm going to grab my Starbucks while we're talking. Allow me to get a sip on it. Go right
ahead. This program is for investors only. And a lot of times when you're an investor, right, you have a lot of money sitting around, but you might have a business that you have, right? And a lot of business owners don't show a lot of money on tax returns. So buying an investment property.
No, we don't.
So buying an investment property could pose a problem when you're not showing income tax returns. There is a program for you.
Hey, yes. This is good news for me, Amber. I mean, to be talking to you about this one. Go ahead. Let's go.
So the program is, so this is like so what you're going to do is you buy this house, you have to put a substantial down payment. It's like 25 to 35% down on it.
So you got to have some savings.
So you have to have some savings that goes into it. And as long as you can show that the house cash flows, so meaning that the rent that you're receiving on the house is higher than the payment on the house, you don't have to provide any other income documentation. Yep. So I
need to have a conversation with you after this.
And I was pulling the rates up on some of the programs. There's different programs depending on how much you're going to put down, how high your house is, and stuff like that. The rates weren't bad on these. Awesome. When you say something, this is kind of like a no-doc loan, like what they would consider a no-doc loan, but it's more like a cash flow loan.
That's amazing.
Because you're not showing income on it, but the rates weren't bad. I was expecting a lot worse when I was pricing these out.
Well, I mean, especially with such a fantastic program, what's the catch? What's the give? And that to me would mean that we're looking at something that's got some 29% interest of some sort.
Not even close.
But so what's cool let's talk about the cash flow component as an investor. If you are thinking about moving to Vegas or just putting your money here in Vegas, again, smart play. Please do it. Please let us serve you in that process. Rent, somebody commented about how rent is so high. We're going to answer your comments here in a minute, so please drop your questions in the box below. But, rent is not only at the highest it's ever been, and it makes me sad to say this because obviously I don't want anybody to be priced out of being able to rent a home if that's all they can do. Rent is sometimes minimum 20 to 25%, but it's sometimes 45% higher than it was a year ago.
45? Are you serious?
Yeah, I saw it. One zip code in the city is up to 45% higher than it was a year ago. I don't know why. I don't know what the driver is. I don't know if they were, in some sort of a rent controlled experience and now are released. I don't know. But what I know is rent's on the rise. And you know that as well as I do.
45%,
And it's not just here, it's in other states and cities too. It's not just Las Vegas. So knowing that rent is on the rise, knowing that you as a landlord will have the ability to renegotiate that rent on an annual basis, knowing that the rates are still very reasonable. And, you know, yes, it feels weird putting a chunk of money, like 25 to 30% down, but knowing it's going to cash flow and start making you money immediately. And with all those other prospects of rent is on the rise, it's not going down anytime soon. Everybody needs a place to live. There's 138 people moving here every single day from all over the country and all over the world. Those are all pluses that I think are why these programs are coming out, because these banks know, like, listen, if the market is hot enough to make you believe that you're going to be able to continuously make money on that property, we're going to get you in so we can all start making money together.
And when if you can see rents on the rise, you know that the appreciation in houses is going to be on the rise too, because that's the only reason why rent would be on the rise is because of demand.
Yeah, we're up 20 to 25% for the most part. And then it just every month, and it's April, and every month. So when we come to you next week, hopefully, I'm hoping we'll have some updates, you know, on numbers for the month. And I'm telling you, by next week, I think we're going to be able to tell you that we can see across the board what the actual percentages are. And I'm going to tell you they're up from 20 to 25%. I can tell you already. So that program sounds amazing. I really do want to talk to you after this when we're done as a business owner. And I love that too, because a lot of business owners have come to me and you over the last couple of years saying, I want to buy a second home, but I don't pay myself a lot of money because I have a lot of write-offs and things like that, which is the whole purpose and, you know, amazing, beautiful thing.
That's one of the perks of owning your own business. Yeah.
But it does prevent you from being able to invest. So that's an incredible program. Yeah. What are some of the other programs you're seeing?
Well, like if you go to a regular conventional program, that one, so you have to remember, like some people think, well, I can't afford to invest because I don't show a lot. Right. But if you show enough to be able to cover your main household, so like your housing expenses, your car loans, your credit cards, and then still have some money left over, when you buy an investment property, remember you're offsetting that payment with the rent that you're receiving. Right. So your debt ratio, you're adding the rent that's going to come in on that new property as income to your property. So it's going to offset that one. So your debt ratio isn't as affected as some people might think that it is.
That's awesome.
So it's worth looking at it like with your income and how it comes in. And then at worst case scenario, we go to a program
like what we just talked about.
Yeah.
Awesome. I know that you mentioned that a lot of people, I love that you guys trust us. I love that we built that trust over the last several years working together. I hope you know from our heart that it is the joy of our lives to be able to hear some of you call us and say, I always thought I was going to be a lifelong renter until I saw your video. And we've heard this dozens of times. And then I realized, wow, you know, you gave me the small amount of hope. It just, you know, said call. It doesn't matter if you're ready to go or not. I want to reiterate that again. Please call us if you even are thinking that this might be a possibility, or even if you don't think it'll be a possibility, because it's been the joy of our lives to be able to see some of you actually become homeowners, invest your money, and start building towards your future. And great, we get business out of it. It's wonderful. But more so than ever, we're seeing people who are quality people that then become a part of our community. That then, you know, it just builds out the community in a better way. It's not just banks and hedge funds that are putting their money in here investing. It's people.
It's real people that are. I mean, and honestly, I've seen people, you know, that call based on seeing us on YouTube and just like are looking to be an investor, and see those people go from owning one house or maybe no houses to now having 3.
Yep, that's been amazing.
It's pretty
too.
Amazing.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing, and to see the equity that's been gained in those houses since they've received them,
I love
and
it.
just the different mindset. You don't even know how you're going to think until you're there, right?
You don't know what you can afford. You don't know what the landscape looks like. Don't do these online calculators that you think are going to give you the truth. Like, let a real person who actually cares about cares about the end of the result of this process walk you through it. And if you're not ready, she'll tell you. But she'll put a game plan together to get you ready. I'm so excited. Are there any other investor type programs that are out that are aside from that business one, which I think is great? You mentioned something about a no doc loan. What was that?
Well, that I'm just saying that's
the same
similar.
Kind of one.
It's not a no doc loan.
Got it.
Because you have to cash flow based on the house that you have. But it's like in the old days, that's kind of what we would call it.
Got it.
You know, like something like that. So there's not a no doc loan. If you do, or there probably is no doc loans, but those are going to be the really high interest rates when you have to go that direction. So the first 2 to look at would be, you know, the regular conventional one to see how your debt to income ratio looks, and then this program that we just talked about.
Now, if we don't look at just homes, let's say I have a limited budget, right? And I can definitely put a good strong down payment, but my budget's going to be under $300,000 or under $400,000. You know, there are options in Las Vegas, whether it be condos or condo-tels, which I know that I've been wanting to talk about with you, that for a long time, they weren't doing a lot of loans on these types of investment properties, condotels specifically. Condotels are basically like Palms Place or MGM Signature, where you're an owner of a condo inside of one of these high-rise buildings, and you can work with the owner of the building itself to rent it out or Airbnb it or whatever, and then make it an investment property, and then you can utilize it as well. And so these are condo and hotel mixed in one, condotel. And it's been kind of a hot buzzword on our team because for a long time, lenders wouldn't lend on them for whatever reason. Is that something that they're doing now?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So if I have like a 400,000 or less budget, I don't want a house because I don't want to maintain it, or I don't necessarily have enough money or time or whatever, I can't qualify, whatever that looks like, or maybe even less than that, 300,000. I want to get something that's Airbnb ready, that I don't have to worry about, that I can partner with the hotel to manage for me. That's an amazing option.
Get financing on it.
You can get financing.
Just not like, it's not the normal financing. It's different financing.
Right.
So the down payment's different. The rates are going to be different, but
you're not getting like a first time FHA on that ever.
No,
but you can get finance.
Yeah. It's called non-QM loans.
Non-QM loans.
If you want to get technical on it. But yeah, there's definitely the non-warrantable condos is what they'd be considered as, and there's a lot of financing on that. So we
that's
can definitely
something,
look at that if you're interested.
We're going to be doing some videos about that on the channel to talk about more of those types of opportunities, and just letting you know that we weren't doing them before because we didn't want to send you down a path where you would hear no, right? If you didn't have cash, it was really kind of, you were out of luck for a long, long time. But now more and more lenders, especially my sweet friend here, are open and allowing those to come through. And it's what's amazing is I think it's opening up to people like you who might want to come in and do Airbnb, but don't know if the house that you're going to buy is actually going to be Airbnb approved yet. So, but you want to put your money in Vegas immediately and you don't want to wait for the new rules to come out. There's like all this swirling conversation. This is an opportunity for you to get in on a non-QM loan or a condotel experience, have the opportunity to utilize that when you want to visit Vegas, and then work with possibly the hotel themselves to rent it out for you and split the profits. It's still a cash flow opportunity that I think you should be looking at.
Those are good cash flow too.
They're amazing cash flow.
Anything down on the strip, you're doing good.
Heller. So we're gonna, again, more to come on that. I'm gonna be doing a video about later this week, and it'll come out by the end of the month. But I'm just so excited to talk about those to you guys because I feel like that's a very big nugget of the world that's not been really looked at or focused on in terms of the real estate market. So I'm going to stop for a second, take a look at some of our comments. Again, we're here to answer your questions. We want to make sure that we're dispelling the buzzwords of inflation, all the rumors around what a market crash might be happening, because it's not going to happen unless like some massive tornado takes out the entire world. I'm not really sure.
Well, then we can't help those.
Then we
things.
can't help
but
you.
Based
Sorry.
off of the market information we have,
there's no crash coming.
There's
right?
nothing pointing to a crash.
We just want to help you guys, get out of the cycle of the news cycle that we're hearing over and over and over again with all the crazy.
Yeah, why is the news so despairing too?
It's I mean, it's ratings. That's all they want. Ratings. It's all about ratings. We want ratings
that's
too.
Not even like truth.
So while you're watching, if you could smash that like button and give us your rating, that would be great. So let's go over here and look at some of these questions. And then again, drop your question below. We would love to help you. Again, lifestyle questions, favorite places to eat, neighborhoods, right? Anything you want to know, let us know. Why her hair is so fabulous, all that. All right. Howard said, how did you like your cruise? Howard, thank you so much.
How did you like your cruise?
I just did a very short, quick little Carnival cruise with my son for what was it, spring break. We went to Ensenada, so it was one of those cheapy, like out of LA. We had a blast. It was amazing. I mean, who doesn't like a cruise, right? Amazing. And I'm a little more tan because of it. Oops, I'm also showing a little more boob than I should. Okay,
a little bit on
I did.
Have some fun.
Crystal Evans says, I'm moving to Las Vegas at the beginning of September. I'm thinking about using a realtor for rentals. Do you think it's a good idea, or just go directly through the apartment complex? Crystal, great
That is a good question.
I highly recommend you call our team to start that conversation. We don't always work with all the apartments in town because realtors they don't need realtors. The apartments advertise enough on their own. There's really not a big program that allows realtors to be a part of it. However, there are a few that we really like and that do cooperate with us. So click the link below. There's also a text message, phone number, and also an email in the description. Let us help you through that conversation. If we can't help you, we'll just let you know. But I'm going to push you at Crystal. I know you're looking at renting, but what did we just say? You should definitely be considering investing your money beyond an apartment and maybe looking at something that could, again, cash flow for an investment, or at least pay for yourself. And then if you move in a year and don't like Vegas or whatever that looks like, then you can always rent that out.
Let's work up a game plan.
Let's talk to you. But I promise it won't be a high pressure conversation. We just want to hear more details, and we can let you know what's the best route. Definitely, please call us. Please call us. Camille, hey, she's hello guys, just joining. Rent is extremely high. Yes. Is it Carmela? Carmela, sorry, I said Camille.
Rent is crazy right now.
Rent's on the rise.
Especially when you said 40%
in some areas. Some areas
Woo!
of town is 21 to 45%, and it's really, it's a sad day. You know, I for years now I've been doing videos, move to Vegas, everybody move to Vegas, and then now I'm like, I mean, I do want you guys to move here, but I don't want you to regret moving here because things are changed from what I painted the picture to be 3 years ago. This city has changed immensely in the last year, honestly, even 12 months.
Do you think it's relative though? Because
It's
I'm
all
looking at
relative.
all other
Yes.
cities and it seems like everything
Yeah,
is going
we're not
crazy.
an outlier, but I'm so glad you said that because so many people say to me, you know, oh, I was going to move to Vegas, but Vegas is, you know, it's this and that, you're off your rocker and you guys are charging what? And it's like, bro, look, what are you paying right now for rent in San Diego for your $4,800 a month studio apartment by the beach? Like, great, you have the beach. How often do you use the beach? Let's ask that question. But really, more than anything, like, I think that we get skewed in that news cycle and the perspective is shifted, to your point.
Yeah.
We are right along the lines with the rest of the United States for the most part, for the major cities.
Yeah, for sure. Because I've looked at Arizona and their prices are crazy. I've looked at Utah, their prices are crazy.
California's even going up, you know.
California, I would think with all the people moving out,
I would think
that
so
it wouldn't
too,
be so crazy, but it's still crazy out there. And
is.
any of the places that we have direct people coming here, it just seems like everything's going crazy.
It's all relative, right? So if you were thinking of moving to Vegas, to stop that process because you think we're out of our minds for charging whatever we're charging for homes, take a look at where you live. If it's a better play, from an investment perspective, from a long-term, you know, wealth perspective, from a lifestyle perspective, like there's a reason you're looking at Vegas, right? Why? What was driving you to look at Vegas? Was it a lifestyle improvement? Was it a job improvement? Was it running from your problems? Was it because of the tax structure? Because none of those other things have changed. The only thing that's changed is rent has gotten higher and the housing prices have gotten higher. So we still believe that it's possible to move here, live your best Las Vegas life, and invest your money in a city that we know is not going to be going away anytime soon. So
with all the strides Vegas has made, we're going to be here for a while.
She's not going anywhere. Las Vegas is just having her moment, and we're not even in the spotlight yet. We're just on the outside edge.
But we're getting there. We're getting there.
I've been saying it since I was 9 years old. Mark my words. Ron the Future says hello. Hi, Laci and Amber.
Hello,
hi, Ron. Good to see you. Hope to see you guys soon. I think I'm going to be having lunch or drinks or dinner with he and his sister. So he reached out. Yeah, it's very sweet. Matt Smith says hello. Hey, Matt. We love it when you join us, Matt. Samuel Jackson. Good morning, gals. I think I'm talking to Sam later today, actually, if that's the same Sam Jackson. So hello. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Tish says, hey, guys, great info. Robert says, what's Amber's contact info? Robert, if you text the number that's in the description or just call it or send us an email, we'll get you guys connected over to Amber.
We're happy to talk to you, Robert.
She's ready to go. We'll get you her info. We won't make you go through, a bunch of information. We just like to make sure that we're capturing who comes through the channel so that we can serve you on both sides of the equation. So click the information below. I think our link was giving me problems earlier. So just text us and call us until I can get that fixed. I have to go on and fix it later today. Let's see. Where do you think the best place to rent or buy is near UMC? Matt, great question. UMC is University Medical Center. Matt, please work for us. We love you. We have a job waiting for you here. Amazing commentator. UMC is downtown off of Charleston, and so the area around that is actually some of my favorite. I love that area.
It's Laci's area.
It's because it's some of the coolest, most vintagey neighborhoods around. It's the vintage corridor of Las Vegas. So if you're into like mid-century modern and like that old swanky vibe, those houses are effing amazing. There's a lot of really cool rental opportunities in those vintage neighborhoods that are all around UMC. So like just call us, we'll help you find them, Matt. But like Scotch 80s, McNeil Estates, you've got Glen Heather Estates, there's like all of them are surrounding the UMC area. If that's not really your vibe and you're not looking for a huge house and you just want something kind of small, you've got some the Jewel is doing rentals. That's a little baby high rise. Soho Lofts, Newport Lofts, and Share downtown. Those are all some little apartment complexes that are or condo complexes that are located kind of in that concentrated area that are within a 3-minute drive to UMC and a 5-minute walk to anything and everything you want in the downtown corridor.
That was a perfect question. Look at you.
Thank you. And you might see me because I actually currently live downtown. So I'm having a really great time being in that area. And I can tell you from personal experience, definitely took some adjustment from living in like a suburb style area, but living in a downtown area like that has been really rad.
You've liked it.
I love it.
Oh,
I freaking
that's
love
awesome.
it. So I actually get people when I'm walking my dog, and people are, Laci, I know you from YouTube, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm literally not even wearing a bra. I'm like don't have any makeup on. I'm like looking like a hot mess, like a peacock, but I love it. So please, if you guys see me out and about, please say hello. Let's see, what can you get for 300,000? Looking for possible investment property. Howard, great question. I would right now, because of and I'm going to let you speak too. I'm just very verbose today. I apologize, but I would say in the $300,000 range right now, to make sure that you're able to actually secure something, I would be looking at condos or condotels. I would love to tell you that you can go out and buy a single family home or a townhome. However, a lot, as we mentioned, what's the percentage of investors and
20%.
20%
everything sold as investors.
Of everything right now being sold as investors. So what's happening for those more traditional, I guess, investments, the home, the townhomes, is that a lot of these hedge funds are coming in with cash, and there's really you can't really compete unless you have cash in hand. And even if you have cash in hand, you got to get really aggressive. So I'd say condos would be a great opportunity, but those condotels that we were just talking about that are Airbnb ready and approved would probably be a really cool thing to look at. Amber right here can talk to you about those non-QM loans and get you going, right?
Yes, I can. So I'm happy to get you qualified for it.
And if you don't need a loan, call us anyway, because there may be an opportunity. Like Amber, I know you recently, didn't you do this with a couple of clients that had a large sum of money that they wanted to spend, and you helped them structure the ability to get a small loan or something, and then put their money divided into 3 assets? Is that
am I
right?
They were going to take it and pay cash for one big house, right? So we took that same money and then finance so that they can get a house and 2 rental properties
that pay for the house.
To pay for the house. Yeah. So
it was a 300 grand. If you got 300 grand cash, we need to have a conversation, because that is an opportunity.
There might be a way to structure it to where you can gain more equity, gain more rental, you know, so let's try to maneuver it so we can make it work for make your money work for you.
This is what I'm talking about with the game plan. She's the best. It's amazing.
Thank you.
But I would say, definitely would say condos, condotels, just smaller properties like that you can cash flow quickly and easily. And if you have that amount of cash, definitely think that you should be looking at structuring something with her for a different kind of buy.
Let's talk.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Sam. Yes, same guy. I'm going to talk to you in a couple hours. Nice to chat with you here. Should have said condo. Matt Smith says thank you. And Carmela says she DM'd me a while ago, and hopefully we'll connect soon. I will check my DMs. I'm usually pretty good about that. Maybe I missed you. I will look for you, Carmela. Why don't you send me another one today, and I'll make sure it's at the top of the DMs, and we'll see if we can get back to you right away. But really excited, you guys. Matt's moving here by the 14th. So excited.
Let's walk to Vegas.
Aussie Xpand says that's amazing. Is it next month or this month? Probably next month, the 14th.
Oh,
it's got to be next month. Otherwise, you better hurry up. Yeah. Aussie Xpand says, if I buy with cash, can I refinance? I've heard that terms aren't as good. I'm a noob. Oh, that's a great question.
That's a great question. So because right now you can definitely capitalize on the market if you buy with cash instead of financing, right? Program on the conventional side that's called delayed financing.
Ooh.
So basically it's giving you the same terms as if you bought the house. Like if you bought it with financing, it's giving you those same terms. You're going to use that same appraisal, or you probably didn't do an appraisal because you paid cash for it. So we're going to use the purchase price of the house, and then you're going to get the same rate as if you house for with financing initially.
That's amazing.
If that just makes sense.
Yeah. So that takes place after they purchase the home and it's theirs.
Yeah.
Then
you do it within a certain period of time, because a lot of times how you're looking at it and where the terms aren't as good as you buy it cash and then you turn around later and you do a cash out refinance. Cash out refinances have a higher interest rate. So if you're going to do it shortly after you buy the house, you could do delayed financing, and then you don't have to take the cash out refinance rates.
That's freaking amazing. I think you told me about that last week, and I forgot about it. This is why I don't do loans. I don't do math, and I don't do loans. I just sell houses, and I sell loans.
And you do great at it.
And I do an amazing job. Thank you. That's amazing. So delayed financing. So if you heard that and that sounds of interest to you, make sure when you're clicking the link or you're calling us or texting us, emailing us,
we should do a video on that.
And we should absolutely. We will be doing a video about that. So more details to come on delayed financing, non-QM. Is it QM or QR?
Non-QM.
Non-QM. I was going to say QR code. Non-QM loans. We're going to do a lot more educational stuff to just help you guys understand that we want you to have hope, right? Hope.
There's always a way. We can't listen to the negative.
So we're going to replace fear with hope. That's our motto. We've been saying that since we first started becoming friends and doing these videos for you guys. We want to make sure that you guys understand home has never been more possible. It's just you just got to get creative with it, right? And you have to have hope, and we're here to give it to you. So grateful. So grateful for you. Thank you so much. Look, delayed financing. So cool. See, this is amazing.
Well, thanks for asking. That was an amazing question.
Yes.
And a great question too, because a lot of people don't know about that program.
Yes.
Makes me wonder why I haven't talked about it more. So
I don't know. We're adding it to our list.
Thanks for bringing that to
Laci,
our mind.
Amazing. That was awesome. We get a lot of great video ideas from you. So if you're watching this on replay and you're not watching it live with us right now, I want to encourage you to please, if you have the ability to, comment in the box below. Let us know what else you want to know about. Keep the questions coming. We may not answer them directly to you, but we will add them to our list for the next live. And we'll start doing more and more educational videos now that the spring is here and we're ready to get back on the video train. So I'm just so grateful. Thank you all for joining us as always. We love you. We're so grateful that you are even considering Las Vegas and that you're a guest to help you figure out what's going on.
Yes, thank you so much.
I am. Rudy is saying he can't hear me. Everyone else can hear me, Rudy. So I'm not sure maybe if something's going on with your computer, but if you can hear us, please let us know what you'd like to hear us do more of. Amber, thank you. I'm so grateful for you.
And me for
she
you.
is a damn expert.
We have good energy between the two of us, right?
It's all about
Today
the energy.
It's all about Laci.
We're replacing fear with hope and good energy.
Good energy.
Good energy. Thank you so much. We're going to see you guys next Wednesday where we talk a little bit more about some of these programs and we give a little bit of an update on the market and show you some numbers on what you might be walking into. It's not summertime yet. Summer's going to get crazy. So if you're thinking about buying, we need to hear from you as soon as possible. We'll put you on a game plan.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you soon, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you later.
Bye.